What's up, guys? Sound Alchemist here with
Gersh1,
and we're back at it to answer your questions on another installment of For the Greater WAAAGH.
This is a video series where we answer the questions left by you. If you have a question for us, just comment down below. Put question in front of your question because we get to those questions first. And that is what the Knave did. Knave? Anyways, are all warp entities evil, or are there some benevolent forces in the warp? Yes, not all entities. I was going to say not all warp is evil, but not all warp entities are evil. You have the Eldar gods who existed in the warp that weren't evil. You still have Isha, who's not evil. She's a warp entity. She's benevolent too, because she was all about that healing.
And that base.
Yep. And then you also have like entities that they're not really benevolent, but they're not really like, so they're not like all powerful, but they're just like there. So you have like what are those things? Like there's squid like creatures, not enslavers. I forget what they're called, but they're just like, they kind of attach to certain people and they just like suck, but they're not evil about it, like enslavers.
Kind of like a leech.
Like a leech, like a warp leech. You have the warp crocodile. Mm-hmm. We did a 40K video on them, even though they're kind of like both warp and just regular.
Just regular crocodiles.
So yeah, you have a bunch of different entities. Check out our 40K playlist on the warp, and then we go down the list of all the different entities, from vampires all the way down to harpies. Mm-hmm. Good question though. Next one.
This one's by DFool06. So I've been planning this prank for my friend when April Fools comes around this year. So basically I'm going to kick him in the nuts. But I can't decide if I'm going to kick him from behind when he's not looking, or just go at him when he is looking. Then I just wondered, what are the gifts that Gork and Mork grant to orcs that gain their favor?
So the gifts of Gork and Mork usually come to a warp head or a weird boy and like vomit that just melts you on impact. Then there's like just zap powers where you get to zap people when you touch them. And then there's the one where like you get to like teleportation basically.
Yeah.
Just a bunch of weird randomness like that.
And he's got a second question. Is there a difference between the gifts that Gork gives versus the gifts that Mork gives? Thank you for your good work. The Greater WAAAGH videos are unique among other 40K related channels, very entertaining, and can really make your day.
Thank you, man.
That's awesome. Glad to hear.
As I am falling asleep. So Gork is cunningly brutal and the other one is brutally cunning. So yes, the difference is that one gift will be brutally cunning and the other one would be cunningly brutal. Yeah. And if you're confused by that, talk to somebody about it, and if they disagree with them, and then you will be fulfilling Gork and Mork, both of them.
So to put it simply, like that vomit thing you said, sometimes the vomit is acidic, or sometimes the acidic is vomit.
Yeah.
I don't know what I said.
Next question comes from Giro Zeppelin or Gyro Zapli. Which Primark makes the best orange juice?
I gotta give it to the homie Ferris Manus.
Why?
Because he's got those metal arms he can just crush.
Yeah, and bzzz.
He can just go like that, and he's like...
Yeah. He has a finger that turns into a peeler, and then the other one that turns into a juicer. Mm-hmm. Does he have one that's a slicer?
I'm pretty sure.
I can't argue with that answer, so I'm going to go with that. Next question comes from Misael Aponte. How would a SJW fare in the Warhammer 40K universe? The same as any other human being.
Which is probably not good.
Yeah.
This one's by Wap Marco. Wap. It is said that chaos corruption might have been a reason for the men of Ire turning on humans. Whoa, so much. But has there ever been a man of iron found fighting with chaos forces? And then, do you think GW would ever introduce a Men of Iron army, or at least a model?
You could make the argument that the robots, the Castilian robots from the Adeptus Custodes, are Men of Iron.
Because they've got like programming and stuff. And, yeah.
So I would say, yeah, they have been found fighting with the Imperium because of that. What was the other part?
Do you think we'll get a model for Men of Iron, or an army?
Oh, an army for Men of Iron? Probably not. Maybe down the line, but like not right now. Not for the foreseeable future. Yeah.
And then do you think that the Men of Iron ever fought against Chaos?
Yeah, because they were just robots. So like at some point, some colonization ship landed on a planet corrupted by Chaos, and Chaos entities probably attacked the colonists. The colonists sent out the Men of Iron to defend them, because that's what the Men of Iron were. They're like military force that's expendable. Yeah. Darzud, what's outside your window behind you? Can we have a sneak peek? I've never seen that before. There's a window behind us.
That's strangely appealing.
Next question.
This one is by Parker Mainstera. What level of Psyker on the rating scale would have raw power similar to that of a nuclear bomb? I know the most powerful of Psyker, Alpha Plus, can cause Exterminatus levels of destruction if they wanted to. Or you could have Malkador, which is capable of teleporting Titan, which is a whole moon. So where would be the power scaling of that?
The power scaling of that the Imperium placed on Psykers, I think, is really flawed though, because it's like, I think it's like 4 tiers. And then you have a tier where Magnus the Red is the same as, like, Ahriman. And I think that's bullshit. Like, one's a Primark and one's, like, a really good sorcerer. It's kind of like when you get to heavyweights, and, like, you'll be, like, because what's a heavyweight, 220?
I think so.
So it's, like, 220 fighting against a 250. That's huge. That's a huge difference. And because there is no 250 fighters, they're just gonna put them in a heavyweight. It's like a throw 'em, like a safety tier, and I think that's what the Imperium does. So to answer your question, it would be like one of the top tiers, but that doesn't really answer it, because It's like the tiers are flawed. That's what I think. Next question.
This one is by Xenoblad. Will Fulgrim come back with an awesome rack? Yeah. He's going to have like racks on racks on racks. Rack City.
Next question comes from Vance Orlando. How different would the 40K universe be if all humans were at the same physical and mental standards as Space Marines?
Really well off.
Well, everything would just get a notch up though, right?
So you're saying it'd be the same thing, just... Yeah.
Yeah, because wouldn't that make sense? Because then what's the point of having the Primaris project if the Primaris are just gonna lead like humans?
Right.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. So it'd be the same thing, just that everything would be one league ahead of each other.
And then you have another question that says, is it more common for males or females to fall to chaos?
It's the same. Yeah. Chaos doesn't
discriminate.
They only spread hate, annihilate. I think it's late, so on to the next question, Nate.
Yeah. Dropping bars over here.
Bars of soap.
In the butt.
Cooler Ryzen. Is it possible for an orc to be reincarnated?
No.
So like if Gaskell dies, there won't be like another Gaskell to rise up?
Nope, it's never happened before, and I don't see why. Because like when one orc falls, that means that he died because he wasn't tough enough. So why would you want him back? He's not tough. Might makes right. Next question comes from Crumbinator008. What would happen if the Tyranids absorbed the biomass of the Emperor?
It would be something like their hive ships would be transformed into like a massive chair throne thing, and then we'd all be attacked by like stools and pedestals and chairs and ladders.
It will be equivalent to a child who has only been fed apples and crackers all his life, and then he got the taste of Popeye's chicken. Undescribable. The little kid would just nose bleeding, because in my story, the emperor is Popeye's chicken. Yeah. Next question comes from Alan S. Hedge your bets. Go Tau. In what way would living with the Tau be better than the real world? We actually have a 40 Facts video called, what is it called?
Benefits of Tau society? No.
Something like that.
Something like
that, yeah.
Just type in Tau.
Yeah, we have a really good 40 Facts video on that, so check that out.
Yeah, there's like a human dressed up in Tau clothes.
Yep, and that's my input. What's yours?
Same.
Yeah. Give me one good benefit of being a Tau as opposed to being the Imperium of Man.
You get to pilot Gundams. We probably won't, but there's a slight chance of you doing that.
Yep.
Robots.
Robots in the skies.
In the skies or in disguise?
I don't know. I'm dyslexic. Next question.
Alberto Batres. I'm creating the lore of my own fan-made legion. Is based on the time of the Great Crusade right before the Horus Heresy. And I've been thinking of having a half-human, half-Eldar as a friend of my Primark, and he's in charge of helping the librarians of this legion. Is this a good idea? Is this possible? Have a good night, and thanks for all the videos.
How'd you know I was sleepy? I am going to take a nap after this. Well, okay, so I would say, yeah, do it. And if you take your lore to a GW and then some kid, because you know what's going to happen, says, you can't do that because humans and Eldar can't interbreed anymore, just punch him in the face. Just like really hard, just punch him in the nose. And then run, because that's not good. You're going to go to jail if you live in America. I don't know about the rest of the world.
Plot twist. That kid is actually a judo master, and he'll like catch your fist and twist it, and then you'll have one less arm to play your army.
But he knows not to mess with you.
And now you know not to mess with him.
So it all balances out.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a really good idea. At some point, somebody will tell you, though, that Eldar and humans can't interbreed. But it's your lore. It's your army. You can make up something that goes with, like, it was part... or the dad was part of the Adeptus Mechanicus, and he was a gene... Splicer. Yeah, something like that, and it happened. So yeah, that's a good idea. Maybe
you can further go deeper into this plot and say that since, you know, this is a cursed creature, or like this abomination shouldn't be possible, you could say that he's always being targeted by the Inquisition, and that your Primarch buddy has to hide him, and maybe that's why your legion, if it is one of the lost legions, maybe that's why they got obliterated, because he was harboring an abomination that shouldn't have existed.
That's actually really good.
Don't use that. It sucks. No, but yeah, I mean, that's just one thing that you can dive into.
Yes.
Maybe that's why it was retconned, because it happened once, and the Emperor was like, not again.
Never again.
Mm-hmm.
But then that must mean that he's an editor and not the Emperor. But anyways, last question.
This one is by... let's see. Do you got a good one?
Yeah, I don't know if it's a good one, but I have one from Norlin Calgar. Which Astarte is stronger, Horus Heresy era? Or which, I should read that slower. Which Astartes are stronger, Horus Heresy era or the 41st millennium? So, Primaris right now. So, Primaris, I would say now.
Yeah, because Primaris, even though they were created, 10,000 years ago, they only got introduced now. So I guess either answer would be correct, because technically they were created back in 30K.
No, but remember, regular Space Marines from the Horus Heresy era didn't have those 3 extra gene seeds.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right.
So they have that cocaine gland that bursts, and they get high. Those were the questions for today. Thank you for sending them our way. comment down below with more questions, and we'll answer them for you next week.
As always, don't forget to hit us up on Patreon. A simple $1 a month brings you more for the greater WAAAGH videos, where we answer each and every one of your patron questions.
See you guys tomorrow.
Sound Alchemist,
Gershwan.
out of here.